Okay, when it comes to understanding how to tie a bowline knot, it helps to understand the parts of a rope first. This is known as the working end, and that's where you tie your knot. This middle part here is called the standing part, and the end is just simply called the running end. When it comes down to tying the bowline knot, you want to simply take this working end, twist it over the standing part. You can see how that forms a loop. Now you take your working end, you bring it through the loop, around the standing part, and back into the loop. Now with your right hand, you want to grab these two and this standing part and pull them away from each other to tighten the knot. Now the simplest way to tie this is to remember the story. You create a hole, that's the hole. The rabbit comes out of the hole, around the tree, and back into the hole. Okay, so a common mistake is when you're, instead of twisting it over the standing part and creating a loop, what I see people do sometimes is that they twist it underneath, right? So this is wrong. So if I want to put the rabbit through the hole, see what happens? My loop disappears. The proper way to do this is that the working end has to go over the standing part, and see, now I've got a knot. Let me show you the incorrect way and then the correct way. So this is the incorrect way. So in this way, the working end goes underneath the standing part. Now I'm going to try to make a bowline. Complete failure. Now this is the correct way. The working end goes over the standing part. Then rabbit comes out of the hole, goes around the tree, back in the hole again, and there you go. Now the way to solve this problem, if you have a habit of putting it underneath by accident, the way to solve this problem is you simply want to practice putting it over. So you want to take your rope, you want to take a few times, you want to practice putting it over. So your right hand always twists, puts it over to the standing part. You want to practice a few times, even grab the other end of the rope if you have to, just practice, right? Practice. And then if you just want to test it, to simply make your bowline like that, you've got a good bowline. So the key for you, if you're struggling with this, is to just keep practicing. Right hand, working end goes over the standing part. Okay, now something else for you to learn about knots in general is that when you create a knot, what you want to do first is what's called dressing the knot. And so in this way, you want to make sure that the knot is actually tied properly. You want to make sure that everything is aligned the way it's supposed to be aligned. You can look at it backwards, forwards, as long as it is dressed properly. And then you can do what's known as setting the knot. And this is where you tighten the knot, right? You make sure it's tight and it can hold a load. So always remember to dress the knot and set the knot if you're going to be using it for actual work.